So if you've been watching the channel for a while, you may notice something about me, and that's that I like old stuff. Usually that has to do with sort of an inherent quality that it typically has. Old stuff tends to be made to last, unlike pretty much everything today. I've had this sledgehammer head, old, made in Canada, number 5, 5-pound head, for a long time, and it's been sitting in my garage at home for a good long while, so I thought it might be time to bring it back to life. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to do some restoration on this old beauty. So come along and we'll get that guy back functioning.
So after a little research online, I was able to uncover a bit of history on our particular head. The logo stamped in the casting is W&BCo and reads Made in Canada at the center. Whitman Barnes Manufacturing Company was established in 1854 and manufactured agricultural supplies into the early 1900s. Although their general sales office was located in Chicago, our double-sided striking head would have been produced in their St. Catharines plant in Ontario. This plant had been purchased from Collins & Birch & Company and appears here on their 1875 catalog cover. Whitman & Barnes were known for selling mower knives, harvester sickles, mower and binder sections, as well as grindstones, garden cultivators, and among other things, hammers. Here's a catalog I found with our striking head listed from a Toronto wholesaler. The Ontario plant closed and sold to J. H. Williams & Company in the early 1900s, which puts our hammer somewhere between 100 and 150 years old.
So first things first with this guy, I'm going to just hit it with a wire wheel on the drill here and try and clean up some of the rust, and so it's got some old paint on it that we'll try and get rid of and try and get back to some of that steel. After that, it's got some mushrooming around the edges where it's been pounded so hard that I'll try and knock back as well. Still has that nice rustic old feel to it. Still got lots of character. Don't want to take that away. But looking good. So let's take that back inside the shed, and we will see about getting files on those edges. Alright, so now we can take a look at this handle. Now this one looks like it's a little big to go in the hole, and we also want it to go down quite a ways on that handle. So similar to the file we used on the head, I've got the same kind of rasp for taking off some wood. So I can fit the axe head on now where it is split. But it doesn't want to go on much further as soon as that gap starts to close. Now I really want it down here on the thicker part eventually, so I need that to come down quite a ways yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to saw the rest of the way down. We want that about 2/3 of the way into the head for the wedge to go in. And so we'll saw the rest of the way down to about there, and then we'll continue to work the rasp on the bottom half here. Okay, so having dry fit that head on there, now I can see where it's binding a bit and where it's touching. And where it's not touching, we need to be able to get down a little bit further. So we're going to just keep shaving away on the sides here. The ends seem okay. So we just need to take a little more off the sides here and let it seat down just a little bit further. Then we should just about be there. So now I'm just going to give the handle a quick sanding and make sure that all of the sharp little bits are all taken care of. As I say, this one doesn't have a lacquer on it, which is really nice. A lot of modern handles have a lacquer on them, and it's just to keep them from getting dirty in the stores, but obviously it makes it much harder to hang on to. So I was pleased to find this one without a lacquer on it. This is just a 400 grit because it's already quite smooth. There we are. Okay, happy with that. So let's hang that head, and then we're going to do a little bit more work just to age that handle and make it a little bit more appropriate to the head that we're putting on it. And then we'll give her a tap just to get it started. Check that it's still feeling straight in the hands. And we'll tap her down. That's looking pretty good. It's got it's tight all the way around the bottom, which is important. And still straight. I think that's going to do it. So we'll get the wedge in there. I'm going to trim that off a little bit first, get the wedge in there, and then we'll cut it even shorter. So it's debatable whether you need to put glue on the wedge or not. I'm just going to do it for peace of mind. Put a bit on. So as I said, I wanted to finish off this handle by making it a little bit more aged to match the head. So we're just going to give it a quick little burn before we oil the handle. So here we go. Yeah, I like that. Okay, so as far as oil goes, we're just going to use standard linseed oil. This is boiled linseed oil, and that should give it a nice finish, as well as keep it from rotting as it gets wet and gets left out. As I say, this axe is going to get used. I don't put this much work into things just to have them sit on the shelf. So it's looking really nice. Okay folks, well that's about it for me today. Just wanted to get that head on a handle today and get that in the arsenal of antique tools that we've got up here. I've got a bunch of other axes actually that I need to do the same thing to and get some heads and some handles mated up. So if this is the kind of thing you're into, just leave a comment below and let me know, and we can do those on video as well if you're interested. So I do have a couple of axes that I need to do. Otherwise, we'll talk to you on the next one, and thanks for watching.